Welcome. This is Tribal Action Group, and today we're going to have a discussion with Major General Nerdah of the Karen National Defense Organization. Nerdah is the son of the legendary leader of the Karens, who once fought with the British during World War II, and then later became a leader in defending their indigenous people, the Karen people, of their rights for many decades. Burma today is still engulfed in a mire of wars all over the country. There are hundreds of thousands of refugees and internally displaced people. The Obama administration dropped sanctions some years ago. There was much propaganda about Aung San Suu Kyi bringing democracy. However, all of this has been mired in war, political turmoil, brutalities. It's been a step backward. The democracy is not forthcoming. The situation is the political situation, the social situation is collapsing, and the Burmese military are continuing to cling on to power. So we're going to have a discussion with Nerdah about the current situation in Burma. Welcome, Nerdah. Can you give us a current update of the political situation in Karen State with Burma, etc.? Thank you.
Politically, current situation right now, even though NLD is winning, but we have no trust in this government, and we know that they're not really speaking out for the people. But doesn't matter what they do because they're under the Constitution, 2008 Constitution. The 2008 Constitution is only supporting the Burmese military army. So we know that there will be no change, and we have to be ready for whatever is going to happen and to defend ourselves. And the military situation right now, they are also expanding their troops in our areas. They are moving and putting the administration in the KNDO administrative areas. They want to dominate. They want to erase all of our culture, and also they want to chase the Karen people out of their territory. So people say, oh, we don't want the Burmese army anymore. So this is what the people are talking about right now. People have no trust in the NLD government. NCA is useless for the Karen people. It's a sham. It's a trick. It's a game of the Burmese army, just to swallow us step by step slowly. And that's why a lot of people say we don't need NCA. We need to be ourselves, standing up, and then as a nation we have to carry on and to fight for our freedom. And the Burmese also, they're not sincere for peace talks or NCA because this is part of their strategies. To divide and control, to divide and conquer, to split us away from our brothers and sisters from other ethnic groups. So this is something the people quite aware of it, and they don't like NCA. They want to be themselves. They want to stand up as a nation. They want to continue fighting. They want to achieve their freedom as soon as possible. They can't wait. They want to see a change. And also what the Burmese is trying to do is they want to Burmanize the Karen people. And not only the Karen people, also all the ethnic groups, also, they want to Burmanize all ethnic groups. So we're also facing genocide in our areas and also in northern areas with the Northern Alliance. They also ethnic groups such as Kachin and Arakanese, also the genocide.
Last year, the United Nations released a report identifying the Burmese military as a large business empire. There's two large corporations, and these are dominated by the military and their families. So this is very reflective of how the Burmese the military are trying to dominate the ethnic areas. Is that something that you agree with, or can you comment on?
Yeah, I agree with 100% because they use military to dominate all the Korean resources, to control all the Korean resources, to take over, and we're not left for the native people with the high-ranking commanders. These the families control business in Burma.
From a historical point of view, from the Obama administration, the Aung San Suu Kyi, and pumping out this propaganda that we're going to have a new Burma, it seems to me like a failure. How do you comment on that?
Well, I agree with you. Rather, the system is failing. They cannot survive by doing if they keep on going on this way. The whole system will collapse because nothing you can do about it. Because when everything is controlled by them, everything is orchestrated by the military, then the people have no chance. Country should be supported by the people. People should support the economy, and people also should support the governing system. But without the support of the people, the system is failing. And in the past, they had a good relationship with the President Obama, and they like hugging each other, and they made a lot of promises that they will help each other, but those are useless. And we have seen that in the past, and nothing happened. Nothing is moving forward for the nation, especially for Burma. Burma is full of corruption. So they cannot move on. They need the system need to be reformed. We need to have a change.
So, can you comment about the refugees that are on the Thai-Burma border, the Karen refugees, and also just comment on the amount of internally displaced people all over Burma since they dropped sanctions?
Well, during President Obama time, they dropped the sanction, but nothing happened to the people. But people are still suffering, and the Korean refugees they cannot return in the refugee camps. About 100,000 people living in the refugee camps, even though the Burmese government said, there is already peace in Burma. They're having a ceasefire agreement with the KNDO, but the people are afraid because when they try to go back and then the army will come to come to see them, come to their houses and to interrogate them. So the people are afraid to go back, and nothing happened. Nothing is moving forward for Korean refugees. About 100,000 refugees living inside Burma, Thai-Burma border, and the situation is critical. That we got information that there's a cut down in food and rations in refugee camp. So people are just like living day to day to survive, and they have no future, no hope, and getting more and more restricted in the refugee camp.
Have you got a message, any commentary about the Arakan Army, the Northern Alliance, unity, or something like that?
Well, Northern Alliance, they're really supportive of the battle in the war in Arakan state, because they realize that is the right thing to do for people to stand up for their rights. There is no other choices. They have to pick up guns, weapons, and fight, and in order to survive. And as a human being, and also as a nation, they need to stand up and fight for their freedom, fight for their survival. But that's why they got a lot of support, and they're working so hard to defend their territories and their country and the freedom of their people. We also support them. We encourage them, support them, and this is no other choices, because if you put yourself in their shoes, there's no other choices unless they stand up and fight for freedom. Otherwise, they have to be Burmese, and they will be colonized, and they will be like oppressed and be slaughtered by the Burmese army.
It's one thing we have to do is stand up and not become a slave to the military mafia that is the Burmese government.
Yeah. Right now, they don't have to recruit their troops, because people just entering into Arakanese army just to fight, because they have no hope. If they just stay and live as civilians, then they will be slaughtered, they will be killed, and they will be enslaved. So we agree with them, because we know that they're making the right decision for their people.
Have you got any final words, a message for the Karen people or other ethnics?
But I want to talk to the Karen all over the world today. It's time for us to stand up and fight for your freedom. Don't just sing it. Stand up. Victory is in your hands. Soba Uji, we say, if you know you are Karen people, if you all stand up for your right, then tomorrow you will see the freedom of the Karen people. Stand up for your freedom and know yourself as the Karen.
Thank you very much, General Nerdah. And God bless.
God bless, brother. It's time for us to stand up and fight for your freedom.